shaky, 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 boom, 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 shaky, 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 boom.
Welcome back, Divine Babies.
Welcome back to episode 7 of the Spiritually Sexy Podcast with your girl,
Pearl,
and Amber,
where we invite open dialogue about infinite intimacies, connecting with oneself and others, the seen and the unseen. But before we get into that, what happened to the drums you're supposed to be bringing to the set?
I gotta put them hoes together, and so I'm totally tired of putting shit together, desk and PCs.
Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
I'll get to it.
So, welcome back to the Spiritually Sexy Podcast, episode 7. This is going to be a special episode here to the Spiritually Sexy Podcast because we here are reaching milestones finally. Like, we're getting there. I think that we're kind of moving kind of swiftly.
Yes.
I have been that, like, you know,
It's just a little over a month, girl. It's just a little over a month.
No, I know. We're so dope. We're so dope. Well, we're only dope because we're creating a dope ass community. And this movement is moving forward, and I'm just I have gratitude to that. But you guys, you already know what's up. It's the announcement. So first things first, we want to thank you all for subscribing to our YouTube channel. Please continue to like and share our content. That's the only way we can grow here at the Spiritually Sexy Podcast. Engage with us. We get some heartfelt messages and from our YouTube subscribers. We just are so grateful that we're able to touch people at the right time with divine timing. We knew starting this movement, Amber and I, that our objective was to be intentional, and the responsibility that we have here at the Spiritually Sexy Podcast is to be able to help people, right? We're be an act of service somehow, some way, one foot in front of the other. So when we see things like that transpiring, we know we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, it's motivation to keep going.
Yeah, Spirit is definitely working through us, so we're excited about that. Guys, I know that you have been seeing us leaving, videos, individual videos about May 2nd, next Thursday. This live on YouTube is going to be lit. I need you guys to please go over to our YouTube channel, the Spiritually Sexy Podcast. Go where the lives are. You can see there's an option for the lives. Put the notify me button. Hit that button because that's how you're going to remember that we have a live that day. Also, we created a quiz. Okay, there's a quiz on our shorts on our YouTube channel that you can go to and get the information that you need as far as what the test questions are, the 2 truth and 1 lie. Okay, listen, we're trying to build this community over here on YouTube, and we need you guys to do that. So please go over there, like the quiz, share the quiz. I mean, at this point, like, when it comes to these t-shirts, like, we're giving away merch that's literally limited edition.
Yeah, customizable. It's gonna be straight for you.
Right, like, you're not gonna get this merch even when we start selling and pushing merch. You guys, this is limited edition. This is customized. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be a dope ass experience. In order for you guys to really get to know Amber and I, you have to go back to our podcast. You have to look at our content and engage with it. That's what this is about. It's about connecting, learning about oneself and others, and having open dialogue. This is what we're doing here. So we hope to see you guys there May 2nd, Thursday at 8 p.m. That's when the YouTube live is going to go down. What else?
And even like outside of the quiz, outside of the YouTube, you can ask us questions. Anything you want to get to know us, that's how you're going to get to know us on a personal thing. You have to ask us.
Also, I had like a download about feedback, like about the podcast. Like, we take what we're going to take with us. The rest that don't resonate or align, it is what it is. But I want to hear back from our viewers some feedback. Give us some feedback. We're here for it.
Yeah.
We're thick skin. We're not thin skin. And we're here for the evolution. So, one hand washes the other at the end of the day. So I definitely got that download. I was like, we need to like engage our viewers and see if they have any input or feedback. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's important to ask. So that's for the announcements. Again, I'm going to be repetitive. Please hit the like button, share our content, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our Instagram lives mostly are going to be done on the weekend. Sometimes we might do some pop-up ones. You never know. Just put those notifications on where you see that we're on and that we're live. So that way you can be a part of the open dialogue. You just never know with Amber and I what you're going to get. Period.
We're very sporadic and random, so but authentic.
That's what you're gonna get with the authentic. I can never say that word, authenticity.
They know what you're saying. They know what you're saying.
But anyway, cool. That's what you're gonna get. Authentic Pearl and Amber, just being Pearl and freaking Amber. Okay, this is what we do. We work for ourselves. It is what it is. So today is dope. Okay, we have a special guest. He's somebody that divine spirit. Look, like everything happens for a reason, and this gentleman here, met him through IG. He followed me for years. He goes by the name of OG Ace, but here at the Spiritually Sexy Podcast, we're gonna call him Ace. You guys can call him Ace. Known him for a few years. Let me see. He reached out to the Spiritually Sexy Podcast and was like, "Oh, y'all should bring me on. Let's have open dialogue." So here at the Spiritually Sexy Podcast, we are reaching milestones with this gentleman joining the podcast today. Breaking the ice, setting the tone.
Be brave,
girl. Courage.
Shout out to Ace.
It's just gonna be amazing to have this open dialogue with a male perspective on there. Like, I'm so excited for this podcast. Also, he is an inspired entrepreneur. He does have his own YouTube channel. When we bring him on, we're gonna have him introduce himself. We're gonna have him, let us know what that channel is called. Actually, I believe he informed me it's called. He did tell me, but I'm gonna let him tell y'all.
We'll put it down. We'll make it. Yeah, we'll make sure you can connect with him as well.
Definitely. So let me go ahead and just bring Ace onto the stage. Yeah.
Shout out to Ace, y'all.
Ladies, how y'all doing?
Good.
Ace,
Looking good. Happy to be on the show. Like I said, it's definitely a pleasure of mine to be able to converse with you guys, potentially network with you guys at some point. See the movement, see what you guys are doing. Amber, love the thumbnails.
Yay!
And everything. Like I said, like what you guys are doing. I see the direction you all are going in, and I definitely want the best for you guys and your podcast.
Thank you.
And prosperation. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you breaking the ice here and helping the Spiritually Sexy Podcast reach milestones. Like, we're so grateful. Like, it's dope. It's really dope. And today's conversation is going to be really in depth, and I feel like it's a much needed conversation that needs to be had. But before we get into that, tell us a little bit about your YouTube channel. Tell us a little about you.
So I've been an entrepreneur for about 15 years now. Delving in everything from loan brokering, I've also wrote and published a book, The Credit Compass. It's a 30-minute read about the ins and outs of credit. It's in-depth yet compressed. You know, a lot of people.
Yeah.
I tried to make it very short because, you know, a lot of people's patience are short these days.
Yeah, attention.
So
Yeah.
I wanted to give them the quick, you know, gist of the important things about credit. So, and that can be found on Amazon. Once again, it's called The Credit Compass.
Make sure you share that handle with us so we can share it.
Absolutely. I definitely will do that. But I've delved into a multitude of things, selling online courses and stuff like that. Just recently, I started doing the faceless travel videos with immaculate images. Like you guys were saying, they'll be able to find the link at the bottom of the video when we're done. So I try to stay diverse, keep my plate full, and you know, spread it out, have my portfolio looking right. So, you know, that's you ladies are about that as well. Thank you. So
That's dope.
It would only be right to attend the show.
Thank you.
Oh, nice.
Appreciate you, really do. And learn new things every day about people. You know, it's crazy how, you know, just based off of a few things you think people assume they know people, and that's why connecting is really important and having open dialogue, because you don't know nobody. Like,
yeah,
I feel like you can be with somebody, not trying to go off topic, but you can be with somebody for years and still don't know them.
oh
Yeah.
absolutely.
A lot of people are just silent gems nobody knows about.
Right. And a lot of people at surface level, they don't really want to know, and that's sad to me. Really,
Yeah,
it is.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's nice to have somebody who's like-minded, right, in masculine form. And we appreciate that. We value that. We really do, because unfortunately, it's a lot of lacking going on. I mean, on both masculinity and femininity, but you know, so we have that here. We're just grateful to have that. We're grateful to have you here, Ace. Okay. So today's topic is a pretty dope conversation.
It's getting spicy.
Very.
It's gonna get a little spicy. So we're gonna start off with the title, okay, guys? So today, episode 7. Today's title is Exploring Relationships, Dynamic, Openness, Swinging, and Love. You guys open to that?
I'm open for it.
Absolutely.
Right. So, but before we do that, let's give the viewers a description. A small description of open relationships and swinging, the difference. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into that real quick, and then we can start flowing. Okay.
Yeah.
So, open relationships. Open relationships involve partners having romantic or sexual relationship with others while maintaining their commitment. Okay? Everybody good on that? We got that right. Swinging, however, is about couples engaging in sexual activities with others together, often involving partners, swapping or group encounters without necessarily forming emotional connections outside of the primary partnership. This topic here, boy. So, we're gonna start with Ace. Ace, let's have open dialogue. Give me your perspective, your opinion, whatever it is, what you feel led to speak on. Open the floor.
So I'd like to say right off that I have been in a traditional or quote unquote traditional relationship before. I've also been in a ethically non-monogamous open relationship, and you know we have played, you know, me and my ex, we have played in the swinger lifestyle a little bit, so you know, I can kind of give a perspective from both sides. They definitely both have their good and bad aspects to it. I won't even say bad. I would just say that I feel like they both have, some different aspects to it. Pros and cons or whatever.
They're different, I think.
I think it depends on the person or the people in the situation. Sometimes what might work best for them, and things like that. So some of the things that I've seen, in traditional relationships, sometimes people do want to try something different or someone different, and that can start, it can bring lies on, deception and stuff like that. So, the whole deceit and deception thing, it's like, it can be very damaging to a relationship, but so like that's one aspect of a traditional relationship, especially these days, social media, everything is like overly sexualized. Even some people who want to be traditional and be faithful and monogamous, it's hard for them to, so I do understand that aspect of a traditional relationship, where it can be hard for some people during modern times to stick to that. As far as like an open relationship or swinging, some of the good things about it is, it's open, all the cards are on the table, there's no deceit there, no lying, which, causes a lot of trouble in relationships. So, in that aspect, the open relationship, as well as swinging, it can be good because, everyone's truthful and, upfront about everything. But I will say this. Yes, I've had fun in open relationships or in swinger type situations. So I won't negate the fact that I had a good time. But at the same time, having that connection, that mind, body, and spirit connection with one individual, and indulging in each other and building on each other, that's an absolutely amazing thing. So I mean,
so I don't want to interrupt you.
No problem.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt. So I just want to go off some, like, a few things you said, right? So keyword things. Like you said, you enjoyed indulging in it and everything. It sounds very surface level. I think that a lot of people, when they do, not women too. I wanted to blame the male species, but women too. A lot of people do get into those kind of situations without having the foundation built. A lot of people aren't mature enough to be in those kind of relationships.
True.
It takes a lot of maturity.
Yeah.
People. So, if you're in a committed relationship, right? What commitment means is that you guys are committed to each other as a partnership, right? And you guys have boundaries set in place. You guys have set rules set up for each other. You guys, and loyalties involved. Once you've established that foundation going into open relationships, or setting up that foundation so you can have an open relationship, because I think that's the most important thing, right? Setting up the foundation, what that looks like. And were you agree?
I agree. I think there's a lot to take into like consideration. I think going into it, you have to have a lot of like self-awareness over like more concerned of what the partner is, because I if I can use it like in an analogy, a lot of us will go into like corporate America or whatever. We're like, okay, we want this promotion, we want this extra thing. What you don't realize is extra work, it's extra things on your plate. And I've been in a situation in corporate America where I was like, I don't even fucking want the position anymore because it's a lot of work. So I think going into it, I'm a very like free-spirited individual. I wasn't in the past. I was very traditional thinking, closed-minded. But I think we have to go into it like looking at ourselves from a very like microscopic specific way, about our egos, our insecurities, our communication style, what we're comfortable with, fluidity, all of this stuff, because I think we'll go into it thinking that the odds are forever in our favor, and the reality of it is it may go into somebody else's more comfortability than your own. I heard a situation the other day where a husband,
I was saying that's the sacrifice that you make being in a committed relationship, because it's not always 50-50.
And then you have to think into consideration, is this from a relationship, like boyfriend, girlfriend, or marriage? Because then that's a whole nother ball game that we have to consider. I think that for me, like not necessarily a marriage yet. I hate the way, and this may sound bad, but the reality of it is most people are in open relationships unbeknownst to them. And even in a marriage, unbeknownst to them. So right. I think we have to be like very honest with who we are as people. Tell people what we really are. Like if like, you know, hey, this is what I'm about. This is what I'm not about. Because even with me, I can dabble in both genders. And that's fine. You know what I mean? But going into a relationship with a person, they may not be cool with that. You know what I mean? They may not be cool with it from either side. So I think we have to come being honest with who we are as people first before we're worried about somebody else.
Yes. Having support is huge. Is a huge thing. Starting to do within your, I can't say the word, guys. Authenticity. And that all of those, even getting to that point of self-awareness, being authentic, it takes work.
Yeah.
Right. I think a lot here in America. I think a lot in the Black community, in the minority communities, people feel really entitled. Tony, do you agree?
As far as a relationship,
not wanting to do the work.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I agree.
Not wanting to do the work is like she said, like Amber said, like people come into it with these expectations, right? Because it's painted, it's packaged so well, but they don't realize that there's work involved. Like you go to work with corporate America, you're like, okay, I got this degree under my belt. I'm gonna go to college. I'm gonna get this job. I'm gonna work my way up the ladder. But it entails work to get there. And it's the same thing in relationships. It doesn't matter what relationship, open relationships, swinging relationships, platonic friendships, you know, family. It all takes work. So and I feel like being able to, and like Amber said, you know, I myself, I deal with both genders. It's not really ever about the person, like the gender of the person. It's just the person. You know, that's I'm open
Got
to.
you. Understandable.
You know, so even being that kind of being that kind of evolved person where I could accept that I love regardless of the gender, even being at that evolution in my life, that took work because and it's self-awareness for me to get there, because a lot of times, you know, I lived in a box. We've talked, Tony, like we had conversations. Guys, I keep calling him Tony because I know him as Tony, just so you guys know. You guys can call him Ace, I call him Tony. I slip up a few times, but you know, Amber and I, we talked about, we had these conversations all the time about, you know, like the work it took to get where in a place where we're at in life, where we can be authentic and just be truthful about where we're at and who we are in life. A lot of people live in a box. A lot of people are worried about what their family's going to think, what their job is going to think. You know, they work so hard to get where they're at in a position in their life will work, and they don't want to be judged or afraid of repercussions when it comes to their. So it's a lot of fear mongering going on why people genuinely aren't being truthful about who they are.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Now, let me ask you something. So when you got into those with your ex, when you was in that relationship and you guys, you know, had an open relationship, had this swinging together, do you guys feel like do you feel like you were at your peak as far as like your evolving and self-awareness and authenticity? Do you feel like you was at your peak?
Individually or collectively?
Specifically you.
I don't know if I would say, my peak, but I was close. I hadn't reached, my quote unquote pinnacle, but I feel like I was close.
Do you feel like your partner was sure who she was?
Not fully, but I felt like she knew more than she didn't, as far as knowing who she was.
Do you feel like one of you guys conformed to be in a relationship together, conformed doing those kind of activities, or being affiliated with those kind of activities like swinging or having an open relationship? Do you guys feel like any of you guys just for the sake of it?
I feel like I kind of conformed slightly though. She was already in the lifestyle, and into things like that. I wasn't, but was a freak, so I was like, hey, you know what I mean? Like,
say it again? You was a what? You was a freak? Is that what you said?
It was easy for me to transition. Like, I was like, okay, well,
the bullshit.
Okay, I haven't tried this yet, but it sounds like it's up, my alley. So let's, try it out.
Okay. Amber, I know you got something to say. I can feel it coming off.
Yeah. Okay. So I guess it's a spicy world we're in, and we're gonna have this conversation. So I would say having self-awareness of myself and doing the work on myself. I'm being a part of another community that they consider like the BDSM type of community and stuff like that. And it's always packaged as, oh, we just freaks out here and stuff like that. But it's a lot of trust in that, especially with my energy being more of a softer, submissive type of energy. So me having this awareness, okay, about myself, right. I know that whoever I'm with, they have to have a dominant energy within themselves and every form of a way, because I need somebody, and we talk about this online, I need a person that's going to talk me through it. Okay, I'm very open-minded, but at the same time, you have to have awareness of yourself. So me in a relationship, there's only one baby in the group, and that would have to be me. It would have to be me because of my energy, and I would need to have somebody that I trust that is more dominant, be like, come on, let's go, let's do this. And I would be able to be more comfortable with it. I always say I have to be with a person that I think is, if not smarter than me, has the knowledge to get that wit. So even part of the aspect of like the BDSM community where they're always thinking like, oh, I'm just about to get my rocks off. You're required to do aspects of trust and do different forms of examples of how much you trust the person. So I didn't commit this, but I had a friend that was really like in there, like heavy in there. And he made her show a sign of trust in the middle of the airport. On her knees in the middle of her airport, and then back home she was getting hogtied. So it sounds all fun, but how many people can like show their trust and their commitment to a person in the middle of the airport? Nobody. Many people can't. I know I'm not there yet. So it's like we have to be aware of who we are as people. And I think that in a relationship, I have to ideally have the person that I'm solid with. And then we have to do what people would more consider a throuple, because I would have to have two dominant figures within my life. Because I'm sorry, I'm more the baby.
Right.
Maybe I overshared or I overtalked, but it's just being honest.
No. Because you're so self-aware and you know this stuff. Like you all you can speak about is your own, yourself, oneself. That's all you can really speak about is oneself. So that's nutrition for me, and I appreciate that. So for me, I've always been open to, I want to say, open relationships. I'm a trustworthy person. I'm a very loyal to the deep fucking fault. Okay, I'm selective as fuck though. I don't keep a lot of people around me. I am very private, even though I'm very boisterous, opinionated. You know, I let people see the best sides of me. They think they know me because they see those aspects of me, but you don't know me from a hole in the wall. You don't know how the depths of me. You know, you don't know Pearl. Only people who are very close to me that I become vulnerable with know Pearl, like to the core, because I'm very transparent like that. I was married for 18 years. Before we even like got to the point of divorcing, I was like, you know, I'm willing to still work this out with you if we can do an open marriage. He absolutely did not want to share me at all, like nothing. But throughout the marriage, I, in some way, shape, or form, I actually had to share him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and did you know, at first, of course, because I was so young when I got married, at first it was like I was almost groomed into thinking that was normal. And as I got older, I realized that shit ain't normal. Okay? It should not. I should not be, if he's not sharing, I shouldn't be freaking sharing. But because I am not one to try to control people, I was like, if he's gonna fuck around and dig himself his own hole, and I'm just gonna keep evolving and do what I need to do. You know what I mean? But then we got to a place where we outgrew each other, you know? But it was so crazy that I was even trying to save the marriage by even considering an open relationship, staying committed and loyal to my husband, but being able to experience life and explore life. You know, he didn't want to do that, you know, and I feel bad for him because I'm like, you're missing out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You can have your wife and I can just allow me to just go and live my life. I'm going to stay loyal. I'm going to stay like committed to us. I'm solid. We're solid. You know what I mean? After 18 years, you know, but ego got in the way, pride got in the way, and too bad for him. Now we're divorced.
Ace, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Okay, so I've always been in regards to the masculine, it's always been a very much a possessive type of thing where it's like do what I say, not as I do type of energy.
That's funny.
Okay.
So I have a question, like in your experience, when you say an open relationship, were you okay with her being with anybody? Because some people do have limitations as far as like, okay, I don't feel comfortable with her being with another woman. I don't feel comfortable with her being with another man. I don't feel comfortable with her being with specific races. I don't feel comfortable with stuff like that. So were you very open-minded as far as no boundaries, open to whatever you want, whatever the person looks like, whatever the environment is?
So like, I thought I was completely open with it because she was bisexual. So like my first thought of it was like, oh, I get to play with her and her friends. You know what I mean? I didn't think about it from the aspect. I know, right? I'm a typical guy. I didn't think about it from the aspect of, oh, you know, she could play with other guys. So, you know, when she mentioned it, at first I was a little taken aback by it, you know, like, but then my freak side came over me, like, fuck it, you know what I mean? Like, I actually, you know, was able to convert jealousy into eroticism. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know, have a good time, have fun, and I'm gonna punish you. You know, I'm gonna punish you either afterwards or during if it's spicy enough. You know what I mean? Like, you know, so it actually worked out for me. Most men, you know, aren't really like beat for that. They're so controlling and they're so self-conscious.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, well, shout out to you for being able to do that. Because a lot of people can't do that. They can't.
I think it was my confidence. I know what I bring to the table sexually as well as emotionally, spiritually, and mentally. So, like how some guys are like, oh, you know, what if this guy makes her come more than I do? Or, you know, what if he do tricks to her that I didn't do? I don't really concern myself with that because my amazingness comes from all different aspects, so to say. So, you know, even if she were to really like what one particular guy did to her, I felt confident enough, like, okay, well, you know, I still have that emotional connection with her, you know, and that mental connection with her, and a real, I want to say a real woman, but a real man as well, won't let sex alone steal, you know, steal you from someone. So, like, I trusted her, and, you know, I knew she was deep enough, spiritually and emotionally, to not let some different dick, you know, make her not want to deal with me anymore. So, because I was confident in her level of depth, it was, you know, it was pretty easy for me to do that. You know.
Let me just congratulate you. One.
Yeah, that's big.
Let me just. I have to say this. I have to give you your, you know, the hat tip, because one, you allowed her in some shape or form to also leave, right? Like, you allowed her to leave off in that aspect. A lot of men, we talked about this in our podcast, a lot of men take that as, oh, you know, that's their position. That's their position in that's their role. And no, it's not. It's not. Like, and because like I said before, it's not always 50-50. Where you're weak at, I'm strong at. Where you're strong at, I'm weak at. And sometimes you just go vice versa. But to hear you say that you allow this woman, you trusted this woman, you trusted yourself, you're aware of yourself enough to trust this woman to leave you. I think that is so amazing.
That's tip top, yeah.
Thanks.
So rare. Even though you are very surface level about, you know, being a freak and I'm about to get my freak on and stuff. But I know that's just verbiage at the end of the day, right? It's more depth to it the more you talk, the more you speak on it. It's way more depth to it, and I hear what you're not saying, and I'm listening to what you're not saying. So, and anybody who's, you know, advanced enough and intelligent enough, they're gonna pick up what you're saying, what you're putting down. So I respect you for that.
I definitely appreciate that.
I think the fact that the key for me as an individual, the key word that you said was the emotional connection that you have. I think a lot of people, they take it as, oh, we don't really need too much of this. But from a masculine form, if you are emotionally intelligent, I'm going to tell you, most of the time, you're going to get that person to do whatever you want them to do. If you're emotionally intelligent, you're going to, even if they're like, I don't want to do this. That's what, like, I spoke on, like, the whole, like, the dominance thing of true dominance are going to talk you through it, whether you know you're being talked through it. You know what I mean? And the emotional connection of that. So when you have that particular gift, you tend to get whatever you want out of the aspect. A lot of people, they just think dominance is just about beating the shit out of somebody or spanking people, and that's not what it is. It's a comfort. It's a safe space.
Right.
Absolutely.
Same thing with submissiveness. You know, the dominance is, you know, the thing is that, you know, the feminine and masculine energy, we all carry that within each other. Like, you have feminine aspects of you, you have masculine aspects of you. You're a man, though, you know. Women, we have feminine aspects and we have masculine aspects. You know, it's just about having that self-awareness, and I just think that's just dope. It's a breath of fresh air, to be quite honest. I can breathe on this podcast right now.
yeah, that's rare. I wasn't expecting that.
Feel the fresh air coming on, and it feels great. And that I don't want to get off topic, but this is another reason why it's so important to have all types of different walks of people coming onto this podcast, because I need the nutrition, because I genuinely think that I'm really right now biased a little bit. I'm not gonna lie. And I genuinely, from my own experiences, just feel like there's not enough of us in the world. And we talked about this, Tony, like there's not enough of us in the world. But I feel like the more we all start connecting and really having open dialogue, we'll realize there are more of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm more like people like us. So when we talk about like trust and self-awareness and stuff like that, like, is there a concern, or is there a concern when it comes to like soul ties? Because I necessarily am very picky on who I share my spirit with, right? So that would be, were you ever concerned about your partner not being protecting herself from like soul ties and stuff like that, or yourself? Do you feel like you picked up soul ties while you were out there doing what you were doing?
That's a very good question. It wasn't a concern of mine, and luckily,
ignorance is bliss. So I guess that was like, right?
Yeah, you know what I mean. So,
ignorance sometimes just not, you're not aware of it.
Yeah, and but after we ended up breaking up and everything, I did think about that. It didn't have anything to do with the breakup, but getting like knowing more about the lifestyle after we broke up, I was like, wow, there could have been some type of soul ties, an energy exchange, maybe even imprinting on each other like that. So that's a very good question. I didn't have to deal with it at that time because it didn't cross my mind. But afterwards, after everything was done, it started crossing my mind over the years, like because I know how real that can be. People you're intimate with, you can definitely exchange energy, and it could be good or bad. So
because we all have our own demons, right? Like we all have. We really want to get into that conversation and really get in depth. You're sharing, you're having that transfer energy, but not only that, like you're picking up what they got, like not in the physical form, in the spiritual form. So I feel like a lot of people are very reckless and careless, and they use open relationships, the terminology and theology and mythology of open relationship and swinging of a way to be reckless and they're not being responsible with it. And then I'm not gonna knock, because you have people who are very responsible, but they're still very responsible from a surface level. They're not being, as far as like making sure they don't get diseases and shit like that, but they're not being responsible when it comes to, you know what I mean?
Oddly, the spiritual ramifications can be worse than any of the physical.
Shit, for the other shit, you know what I'm saying? Like they're like, you know what I'm saying? But spiritual, that's a whole nother level. That's it, and not everybody's prepared with the tools to deal with that.
You're right.
It's not the same, but I would say I was in a similar situation, I would say, with like my first experience. And this is why I don't give a fuck what anybody says astrology is real, because had I known astrology and had I known where his moon was and my emotions, I'd have ran for the hills at the time. But because I'm not trying to pick on nobody, but if that moon is in something crazy, you're gonna get the crazy. So he was very possessive of me, and he was out there doing God knows what with God knows whoever. But when we broke up, I had someone that I was really seriously connected to. And they were pretty much like, okay, well, I'm here for you regardless of what the situation is, whether you want to fix the situation or you don't. But what I noticed in that situation, the depth of the connection was not really there with the other person, the extra person, as much as it was the person that I opened my spirit, my soul, my mind, my body to from such a depth and versatility. So the soul tie came from, for me, for who I allowed into my spirit, not necessarily who I was with or intimate. It was more of from a mind's emotion and spiritual level of depth. So it lingers. Even to this day, I have to cleanse on that type of energy because it lingers there. Because I open my vessel, my soul, my everything so much. If that makes any sense of what I'm saying.
Yes, so the person that wanted to stay around regardless if whatever get fixed or not, was that the person that you were committed to in that open relationship, or was it the other person that you were vulnerable with that you were committed to? Which one?
Okay, so the person that so my first love, he was the one out here doing dirty, right? Similar to what you said in your marriage where they were doing whatever they wanted, but not as you. So whenever he did like a separation thing, oh, we're not together, so I can go do something, so now you're knowledgeable of it. I had someone that I was in friendship with and trust, but it wasn't as deep as the person that I had first love. I had fucking kids with and everything. I'm putting my business out there, but it wasn't as deep as that because it's like that person, it was such a raw depth of whatever the fuck I'm trying to say right now. It was so embedded within me of our connection and how everything was, that the soul tie is with that person. It's not with just random people. I think it soul ties tend to, for me, I can only speak on my experience. Soul ties is when I give permission to be within me. It's like people not knowing they're dealing with possession, but you're still messing with a fucking Ouija board. You're still opening your spirit up to things. So I put myself in the position to be open to that, his spirits, his demons, his stuff, because I was so raw with him. Other people, when I'm not open and fluid like that with them, I'm not getting soul ties and possession of their spirits, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. Yeah. Not everybody's where you're at, like at all. Like I feel like that's what I said. Like a lot of people are really reckless. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Are really, really reckless. But not everybody knows how to protect, or not everybody. I just feel like it's the world that we live in today. Not everybody is like you, Emperor, and that's honestly what makes you very unique from the rest of these people. I'm just being honest. Just from my level of interactions with you as your best friend and sister, not everybody's like you, and a lot of people don't have that kind of that awareness about them, and are even in touch with themselves enough to know who they're truly connected to first. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, damn, this conversation is deep though.
It's pretty deep, right?
Right, because like my brain starts to work like, okay, soul ties. Then it's like trauma bonding. Like it just keeps going and going into those conversations, and so it can get really toxic. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I say people are so reckless with open relationships, and even with my ex, my heart went to my ex. Okay. Oh. No, because it's like, you know, I'm such a fluent person. I'm such an understanding, open-minded person and I'm such a chill vibe. Like, for real, I'm never really heavy on people like that. Like, Amber, we did best friends. Like, I'm never, no, I have moments where I'm heavy. You know what I mean? Because I'm going through heavy shit. Life is lifing. And you know, people that love me, they're gonna ride with me, and they're gonna help me get through that heaviness, because I'm gonna do the same for them. You know, the energy is reciprocated. But you know, if he would have just been straightforward about like who you really are, because I was here for it. I was here for the nurturing, supporting, helping you evolve. I did it all with the hopes and romanticizing, fantasizing that you would be the same for me. You know what I mean? Like, you know, towards the end, when he was like, can we just be friends? Look, I could have even considered doing that shit. But he wasn't honest about who he was, so the betrayal was embedded. The seed was already planted. It was like, Like, I could have given you that and then some, because I am that free flowing. I'm that fluent. Like, I love art. I love people. You know what I mean? Generally, like, I really don't like people, but I love people.
I know what you mean.
Like, in depth, but to my core, I'm a service person. So you have to love people in order to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to want to help people at a really, really deep spiritual level. I don't like that's the only difference. I love. If he just was like, it's like, bro, it's just sad because I am that fluent of a person. Like, I'm such a free flowing person, and it's almost like you made that aspect of being friends, just let's just be friends, you know, so toxic. It seems so poisoning to me, because you poison that pool, not for everybody else, for yourself. And you could have had so much, you know, abundance. Like, you know, having access to me, you have access to my spiritual abundance, you have access to my spiritual, like, listen, I'm favored. I'm highly favored. So access to me, you have access to all that stuff that you ain't never had access to before, because, you know, it is what it is, and that's it. I mean, like, it's just crazy how reckless people are, man.
Yeah, I think communication.
He wasn't on your level from what you said. From the details you're saying, it doesn't sound like he was on your level. Don't expect things like that. You know, don't expect certain things from people that don't know well enough. You know, and not on your level.
It wasn't an expectation. It was just common courtesy, decency, humanity. It wasn't even an expectation.
Not everybody has that.
I get it.
If they're nice or they're cool, like, oh, they're a cool person. Not everybody has that, you know. Unfortunately, you know. Yeah.
I definitely
makes them.
I'm aware of that now. Like, before, I didn't know that people were to that extreme. That was definitely a lesson for me to be learned. And like I said, it kind of poisoned that. You know what I mean? So it's and people think having access to me was hard before. Shit, having access to me now, it's like almost. I'm just saying. You know?
The wall.
Yeah.
And men do that too. We put up a wall sometimes. You know, things don't work out relationship wise. I have a little mini wall up myself as well. You know, but once again, I was expecting something from someone that didn't have knowledge of self and that wasn't enlightened. And, you know, after they betrayed me, I had to remember, like, you can only expect but so much from someone that's not on a certain level. You know, you can want the best for them, and want them to think the best and do the best, but if that's not in them, it's not in them.
I think the biggest disconnect on my end when I speak about the same situation was not necessarily so much about the cheating or the this and that. It's when you turn off the disconnect of communication where you can't tell me what you're feeling and what's wrong so we can have a solution. That's when I really was like, I'm out. You know what I mean? You know, that's when it really got severed, because I think we forget that a lot of times in a relationship, we think that we have ownership of a person, and we don't. Everybody was put in this path, in this world, with their own specific, you know, purpose and path, and they evolve and they do this. That's why I think it's better to have like friendship, a heavy friendship with the person. But it's the minute that the communication where we can't say like, what's your feeling or what's wrong, even if you can't communicate what's going on, that's when it's severed for me. Because it's like, I'm fighting a battle alone. I'm trying to, because I look at it as a teamwork. I can't stand when people look at like a relationship as if it's a competitive thing. We're competing against other shit that is unnecessary. I don't want to compete against you. So if you can't be raw and put your shit on the table and tell me just the honest truth, no matter what it looks like, so we can have a solution, that's when the relationship is completely severed for me. Because it makes me think of like, and I'm not into Abrahamic religions, but I was raised in it. The biggest thing that set out for me was like, where they want to say the knowledge of doing wrong. Within a relationship, we didn't know we were naked until like we let other people get it, their input in there. We let other people have their say in there. We let that little like poisonous, like Pearl speaks of, our water was not poisoned until we let other things interfere with it. Like nobody knows within their relationship if you're free spirited. No one knows that what I'm technically doing is wrong if you're, or finding your own rhythm. So heavy on the communication because we're all evolving spirits. We're all on this human experience. Nobody's perfect. We all come packaged with, I like to say I'm an astrology, like girly. We're all have different charts and different paths. So you have to be able to be seriously bonded with a person when we have these commitments. Otherwise, it's just a fucking lie. But my biggest thing of like going into any type of open relationship, closed relationship, throuple, swapping. If you can't communicate like what you're feeling or what's wrong or how we can have solutions, it's a no-go. It's a no-go. It ain't nothing gonna happen.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because one person can't hold the flag. One person can't do all the work. It takes a village. It takes two people. It takes a village, even getting therapy together to help get one aligned with each other. You know what I mean? Like, I remember this person making it so toxic. Oh, who goes to therapy for this problem? Grown adults who are trying to heal together and heal individually. Yeah, like, I think that's important, especially I think that all of us come into these situations with trauma, childhood wounds, all of these things. Nobody's coming packaged perfect, right? So we have to do the work. And what that looks like is going to go therapy together, go individually, go find support groups that are doing the same thing that you're doing so that you have a strong foundation behind that. Like, you cannot do this by yourself. Like, communities of people, there are communities for this stuff. Like, that you can lean on for advice or just nutrition, wisdom, like leaning on your own understanding. You're always going to fail. I don't care. You set yourself up for failure. One of us gifted with the wisdom, right, and the knowledge naturally, but still leaning on your own understanding is just setting yourself up for failure. There is information, there's tools that are out there, there are groups out there that you can actually, like being here on the Spiritually Sexy podcast. We're a group, we're a community that wants to be able to, on all diasporas, help people. You know what I mean? Like, have these intelligent conversations that are fucking uncomfortable sometimes. You know what I'm saying? They're uncomfortable, but it's necessary. Yeah.
Absolutely. When I'm not around people like yourself and like what I see from Amber, when I'm not around people like us, I feel suffocated. You know what I mean? Like, I could be hanging and chilling with friends and family and they be like, Ace, what's wrong? I can't even explain it to them because they aren't enlightened enough to understand it.
Yeah,
so,
same.
It feels good to be able to breathe and talk and let go, and exhale with you ladies.
Nice. I'm grateful. I know Amber is
very grateful. Very.
Yeah. This is not a one and done deal, Ace. You also are going to start working on your other channel, which is called the
Immaculate Images.
Not that one. That's the traveling channel. What's the other one?
Oh, Ask OGAs. Where I'll be giving out advice.
Yes.
Nice.
So, come on. Hopefully we got that on there. We got that going and in motion, and we can collab together on that. And we can come back and collab here. And this is just like, just us putting out that information. Whatever spirit leads us to have these conversations, they could be had. And I'm really looking forward to that, Ace.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm so excited. This is amazing. You guys made my day.
Thank you.
Don't get me crying on here. I talk a big game. I'm very sensitive. I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for you. Like I said, I'm a bit of a weirdo. I always say that and I shouldn't say that because people like you are actually my norm. Like this,
Right.
I'm like, these are my people. So I shouldn't say that to you guys, but I'm so packaged in a way of giving that disclaimer. But it's really like, it's really refreshing. It really is, especially see that in like a masculine form. And I'm such a sucker for some depth. You know what I mean? And have these conversations. So I'm so grateful. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Likewise, this was so amazing. Like, can't wait to do it again, ladies.
Yes, and we will. We're definitely
We will.
up and we got big plans here, and I hope and I pray and I ask the divine and the universe now that for you moving forward, for us moving forward, and all our endeavors, that we never cap in life, and we keep evolving, and we have a little spirit tribe going on. We have our little tribe going on, and evolve, like whatever that looks like, community outreaches, whatever that looks like. I'm just grateful.
Yeah,
So,
very much.
Just grateful.
Oh, this is such a blessing, guys. Such a blessing.
Thank you.
Such a blessing. Like,
Joining the Spiritually Sexy podcast. Please let us know when you want. You got
You gotta come back.
absolutely. Absolutely.
want to come on here and have what we want to talk about. I know you're a very busy man, but we have these YouTube lives that we're going to be doing every Thursday at 8.
Okay.
You can come on, and on there we can have you there as a guest too, and we can start this open dialogue with other people. Because now there's a man who could.
I know.
So intimidated by two alpha females. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We gotta harass him. We gotta harass him now.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that.
So we're looking forward to that too. We're gonna start pushing this merch, but right now that's like the least of our things. But we have what we got? 2 truths and a lie. So this live that we're having this Thursday, May 2nd, 8 p.m. We're doing 2 truths and a lie. So people literally gotta go in there and like go into our content. There's tidbits and information about us personally in there, like little messages and stuff, but people gotta pay attention. It's really getting people to pay attention. Like you said, people's attention span is like nothing. So this t-shirt is a limited edition. Okay, this is customized, limited edition. It's not the stuff that we're going to be, bringing onto the Spiritually Sexy podcast. So we really want that for our, viewers and our subscribers. We really want that for them. So we want to celebrate them. We want them to celebrate us and really get this movement out there. So, yeah.
Peace and blessings.
Thank
all
you.
The way to
Thank you. Oh, yay.
See you soon, Dave. Have a great week, Patty, okay?
All right, you ladies, cool. Stay blessed.
Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, that was dope. Oh, man.
I'm so fucking blown away. I'm like you, where I was like, you feel a little biased, like, yeah, you're coming on, you're letting like a dude come on, but you're like, oh my god, he's gonna say something weird or he's gonna be extra, but wow, that's pretty dope. It was dope.
Fresh air.
Yeah. I'm so proud, happy.
Listen. Go ahead, Amber. I feel like I cut you off. What you gonna say? You happy with?
No, you're good. I'm just like rambling on my like. I'm blown away because I wasn't expecting it.
Here.
I'm blown, fucking blown, bro. I cannot believe it. Like, no shade to the masculine, but for him to be that free, that open, that minded, that free spirit flow, and like not be so like, weird or insecure or be like, not evolved. That's shout out to Ace.
I feel like spirit and God and the divine and just like I just feel like this, and I keep saying this, Amber, it's like it's setting us up for the path that we're going in.
Yeah.
And for people to come on our show and say, I see where this is going, like I can see where this is going for you girls, like you ladies, I feel like it takes a confident person to say that, because it's too much evil eyes, too much people want to see you do good but not better than them energy out there.
Yeah.
We've had, you know, multiple people come on here and say, look, like, we really appreciate what you guys are doing here. That's crazy.
It teared me up, if I'm honest. I'm trying not to cry now. Look at it. It teared me up because, again, like, in aspects of spirituality or just the human experience, you feel so fucking alone. You know what I mean? You feel so alone, especially like within talking to masculine. And I'm getting emotional because it's like, oh, I see you, family. I see you. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, you know, you're a bit of me or a piece of me. It's like, and you feel like you're just alone or like you're just a little weirdo by yourself. So I'm getting emotional. But
this is what we're meant to do. This is like, honestly, like, I do have expectations for the divine. I do have expectations. I have demands. Only because I'm doing the work.
Yeah. Okay?
And life is lifing right now. So with lifing, and me gathering the willpower and the energy every freaking day to get up and live within my purpose.
Oh, now you're gonna make me cry on camera.
I demand my expectations to fall through. So I believe that where this is going, like, I don't doubt it at all.
Why am I so emotional on camera? I'm freaking out. Dude,
you got
overwhelmed.
Love you, Amber. If you feel led and have enough courage to get on here on the Spiritually Sexy Podcast, we dare you. We dare you to have open dialogue. We dare you to have these intellectual conversations. We dare you to give us some feedback respectfully. Okay? We dare you, because I mean, we can't. This is not going anywhere if you guys are don't apart.
And it's so like authentic. Like Pearl will tell you, crying for me is like cutting my arm off. I have a Capricorn moon, so I'm like, no, you need to keep it together. But this was an experience for me. And then, like, of course, you know, I adore you and you being authentic. And I know it's a lot for you to say, like, I'm dealing with some shit. So I'm like, it's just, I'm overwhelmed in a good way. But
guys, we appreciate you guys joining us here on the Spiritually Sexy Podcast. Remember to like, subscribe to our YouTube channel, go over to our IG, follow, engage with our content. You know, I know it takes time out of your day. I know, but what I do know also is that supporting is free. We're not asking you for your money, even though time is priceless. We still ask that you engage and support, and, you know, just be a part of this movement, you know. Yeah. Out May 2nd, go to the YouTube channel. I've been putting content out there where you can just hit the button and it will send you over to the link. It'll send you over to where you need to be at. It's very easy, so that, you know, again, attention spans are like these days. So we're doing the work. All we need you guys to do is to click the button. So go ahead, click those buttons when you see them. Go hit that bell notification, like, share, subscribe, follow, engage. We love you guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Productive week. Be blessed. Remember, you have a safe space here. Love you.
Love you. Bye.